Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. This is our coffee conversation meeting, and the topic I have here is finding freedom in recovery from trauma. And I like this article because I think we have, or I had, like underlying trauma that I really didn't know. And some of it talks about like PTSD, and there's different levels of PTSD and mental health and stuff like that. So we have to uncover that so we can begin to change and grow. So let's check this article out. It's a short one, but it's a good one. Living with the unresolved trauma can feel like living in an invisible entrapment. You are a prisoner who is able to move about their life. Though nobody else can see your prison bars, you feel them and their confinement nearly every moment of every day. For some people, the imprisonment of their trauma is unconscious, and some of us don't even know. We're like, a prisoner in our own mind because it talks about being in our subconscious. Like we might be aware, but we don't understand how how bad it can be and how bad it should be addressed. So we find out why we do the things we do. In our subconscious, it really does, it stays there, but it doesn't come in the forefront of our mind until things can hit the fan. And so we try to prevent things getting out of hand. What's going on, Giovanni? So we try to be mindful, and so we try to see ourselves coming. For the better and foremost, like we try to, I want to say is, you know, try to stop and think before we act. Instead of just reacting. And that's where our subconscious is, really sit and process some things and get in the forefront of our mind before we react and like cause harm. For some people, imprisonment of their trauma is subconscious. Most often, their trauma manifests in so subtle or not so subtle forms of self sabotage and self destruction in their relationships, their work, their life, and their ability to handle the responsibility of living as a human on earth. For others, trauma is obvious as they have been diagnosed with PTSD or another mental health condition. Problematically, trauma has stereotyped what is seen as trauma, inhibits others from believing that what they have experienced in life is also trauma. Some can see what holds them back, others are held back without knowing it. And I think that's what we're just talking about, that subconscious is. Some of us know what's holding us back, but some of us, it's in the subconscious and we don't know what's really holding us back until we address it, to find out and to do some soul searching, doing inventories, and discussing. I can't discuss some of the stuff with myself because it just doesn't work like that. That's why we get like a therapist or counselors. We get recovery coaches. We get sponsors and stuff like that. So we uncover some of these traumas that are holding us back that we really don't think so, or might not even think we have a problem with it. For me, I didn't know like some of my traumas, and like I suffer from a level of PTSD. It's not severe, thank God, but like some things remind me of jail. Certain smells, certain tastes, certain sounds. You know what I mean? That's a level of like PTSD. Some are severe, some are moderate. There's different ranges to things of trauma and stuff like that. And before I would use and cope with it with negative, and I didn't have the coping skills, so I would use or cause harm or cause damage. So I've learned to talk about it. That's why I call somebody. That's why I have a mentor. That's why I have a sponsor. That's why I go to church so I can handle these things in a healthy way. Giovanni, you think any things of trauma that you can think of? What do you think when I say trauma? What do you think that means to you?
See, trauma and like something I guess that hurts you mentally,
Yeah, yeah.
or something that you went through mentally.
And usually, like something happens, say something happened to you in the past or whatever like that, and it still sticks with you,
Yeah.
you know, through your adult years and stuff like that. Certain things remind you of that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a sign of trauma. You know, I think we all can have sign of trauma, you know, because we're years and years being on this earth and going through things. And like I said, some are moderate, some are severe, you know, but you know, from the places we've been or I've been using drugs and alcohol and running the streets and doing this and doing that, experience a lot of stuff, you know, and there's definitely a level of PTSD and definitely a level of trauma, but it definitely needs to be addressed. Um, Trauma affects every single area of our life, whether you are aware or not. When people come to treatment for trauma, they are often shocked by the ways their freedom has been limited by trauma. Moving through treatment is like unpeeling the layers of an onion. As treatment and therapy progresses, as healing progresses, the layers are continuously revealed. With each new layer of recovery comes a new layer of freedom. Yeah, that's what I look for. Freedom, freedom from self, freedom from trauma, freedom from active addiction from drugs and alcohol. You know, we all want a level of freedom. We don't like to be a prisoner. I sure don't. You know, and sometimes we're a prisoner of our own minds, and we're bonded down by our own traumas and stuff like that. If we don't address that and get past it, we're stuck in them. Like, you know, we can't get out of it if we don't, like I said earlier, if we don't address it and talk about it and get somebody I can trust and therapists and counselors. Always seek professional help. I can't get help on my own, right? I can't receive my own help. You know, my help, I try to help myself for so long and ended up in jails, institutions, and almost died. You know, so I always, you know, seek help from experienced members, you know, from doctors, therapists, counselors. Thank God I've, you know, seek the help that I needed, you know, instead of run from them or suppress my emotions and feelings and suppress the trauma that I don't want to deal with that I caused or somebody caused to me. You know, we don't like to be uncomfortable. Some of the things that some of the traumas that we deal with, you know, it's very uncomfortable to talk about. We're feared up, we're scared, being uncomfortable. It's just negative emotions and feelings we don't like to deal with, but we don't deal with them. I remember my sponsor told me if we don't deal with them, they will deal with us for sure. And I believe that. And we're talking about finding freedom and recovery from trauma. So we're talking about trauma. And I was telling the guys, you know, I think we always experience, some of us experience some type of trauma. You know, it can be moderate, it can be little, it can be severe. And you know, sometimes that I was telling them that, you know, because I've been incarcerated before, some tastes, some smells, some sounds remind me of being incarcerated. So that's a level of PTSD and stuff like that. Will we try to suppress with alcohol and drugs that we don't want to deal with, you know. So let me see where I left off at. So freedom doesn't always feel the most freeing at first. Recognizing what has prevented us from being free for so long is hard because trauma is extremely hard to cope with. Trauma halts our brain functions and impairs our nervous system. Our inability to comprehend and process complex toxic stress causes us to compartmentalize. I don't know that word. You guys want to try it with myself? Help me out. Compartmentalize. I don't know. That's a big word.
I'm seeing which, I'm trying to see what,
It's right here on the bottom. Let's see if we can get this. Right here.
okay. Okay.
That's a big word.
Compartmentalize, that's what it's called, compartmentalize.
Thank you. The memories of our life, storing them neatly away, surfaces for a while, but ultimately causes us suffering over time. Through treatment and therapy, we released our stored memories and the hold they have on us. And yeah, so it says freedom doesn't always feel the most freeing at first, because as I said earlier, we're like a prisoner of our own mind. It's hard to break that. It's hard to break free from recognizing what prevented us from being free for so long. It's hard because trauma is extremely hard to cope with, and it is. Trauma is hard to cope with, but we can't deal with it alone. That's what I learned in recovery. I don't have to be alone. I don't have to do things alone. I don't have to sit in these traumas or these fears or this anger or resentment, all the negative stuff that comes with addiction. I don't have to, go through life alone. If I was still trying to do things on my own, I wouldn't be here. Just to be honest, I would still be doing what I've been doing. And recovery is a beautiful thing because a lot of times that things I experienced or been through, if I've caused some of the things I dealt with or deal with, other recovering addicts that I talked to dealt with the same or worse. People that understand me, that's where like I gave recovery a chance because I came in here broken, alone. I was feared up. I was scared because I felt left out. I felt alone. Like I was different than everybody else until I came in recovery and I started talking with other people and they sound just like me. They look just like me. They sound just like me. And they are talking about the same stuff that I've been through. It's like, all right, well, I'm not as bad as I thought I was, because people can relate, people can relate and they understand me. So that's why I discuss what's going on with this crazy stinking thinking sometimes. That's why I just don't act out. That's why I talk with other people to address, I thank God for recovery. I thank God that the things I've been through, the things I've seen, the things I've done, he still gave me grace and mercy to, to give back, to address, uncover. It talks about layers, recovery is about pulling back the layers of that onion so we can get to the root of the onion, we got to find out what's going on with us, what really is the problem so we can address it, and this the article talks about like a lot of traumas happen and we don't want to discuss it. So it's very important to be open and honest. You don't have to be like that with everybody, but you gotta have to be like that with somebody. Is there anything that you guys think of like of trauma? What does trauma mean to you?
I mean myself, I experienced death.
That's a big one.
Yes, my father, he died. It was bad, but I lost 3 siblings, less than 2 years.
I think you did. I remember you talking about that before. Yeah.
2 sisters within 7 months apart. And you're talking about traumatized.
Yeah.
And the one sister I had told, I said, I'm coming to Texas to see you. I said, my son Boo's going to pay for us a ticket for him to come, but all my life I wanted to go see her in Texas. She's always coming here and I want to come see her.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm coming to see you. She had a son that was a lifer.
Nice of them to do down there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's in Houston, Texas. She was in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
So I told her, so all my life, I said, I want to come, and I still had a text message on my phone. I talked to her, we used to text each my favorite since, you should have pictures, but we just, a year apart.
Yeah, for sure.
So we were really, really close. So I had told her, I said, I'm coming to see you. My son said, Mom, I'm going to fulfill your bucket list. We're going to see Aunt Betty in Texas. Oh, I'm happy excited. She's having excited. The lawyer had told her that the son that was a lifer, he'd been in prison for like 28 years.
They was getting released or something.
Right.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Right. Well, she's happy, she's excited, I'm happy excited. My son texted me, Mom, ask Aunt Betty for airport, the closest to where you live. So we asked her. So it was on a Sunday, we always take phone tag on Sundays. I kept trying to text her and call, she wouldn't answer me. And she never texted me back. I said, it's not like her.
Something's wrong.
Something wrong. So her husband called me and he said, have you heard from Betty? And I said, no, I've been trying to call her, but she's not answering my phone calls. So he said, well, that's strange. He said, because she'll answer you, but she won't answer to me. I said, no, you're her husband. She said, yeah, Barbara, but you know, y'all, the thickest
You
things.
think of these.
Yeah, and we had said, I said, okay, let's, I'm gonna take that for the text. And we had said, I said, we're gonna be like color purple. To you when you. When that, my idea is, so, so, you know, I think it's called that. I said, I'm sorry about that, sir. I'm gonna turn it off. I turn the ring on, take the ring off. So we said, well, we like the color purple. Then we mind said, and I said, and she said, well, I'll be right there to wait, airport waiting for you. I'm all happy and excited, you know what I mean? Come to see her. She had a stroke,
Mm,
a massive stroke.
wow.
When we was kids, we said we're gonna get married each other's birthday. So every year, she got married July 14th. That was her birthday. And I got married on her birthday, July 14th.
I'll check that out.
My birthday was Christmas. She got married on my birthday, Christmas. That's how close we were. Siblings, you know what I mean? And she had a stroke, had a massive stroke.
Mm,
And her grandson that was 9 years old, he had just moved in.
he was living there.
Yes. And he called his mom and said, there's something wrong with grandma. He said, she's just across the bed. I'm trying to wake up. She won't wake up. She was dead.
And imagine like the trauma that he's going through.
Exactly.
You know, because some of the traumas are not expected. Like it's not our fault. You know, it's things we go through, and that's some of the traumas. I'm not saying it's this huge, but that's why some of the times we use drugs and alcohol is to, you know, as kids dealing with stuff like that. It's sad. It's traumatizing. You know, and
Very traumatizing. And I see a lot of family members
yeah,
on my side and my husband's side. When there's a death in the family, they release their stress. They drink.
yeah.
Or they release their stress.
Coping skill. It's a coping mechanism, and I've done it too. And you know, using drugs and alcohol. For me, it didn't matter whether it was trauma or whatever it is. I was still using drugs and alcohol, but mainly some people, you know, grow up with a lot of traumatizing lives and things going on, and they find drugs and alcohol, and that's what they go to.
Yep.
They don't know no other way.
Right.
We think it's a quick, easy fix, you know, but it's not. It causes more problems, more damage down the line. You know.
And it causes a lot of health issues.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could see a person in their 80s get around doing better person in 50s and 60s because like you do drugs, you take alcohol. After a while, it's going to take a toll on
Yeah, your
your body.
body ain't supposed to consume that stuff on a daily basis.
Right, and it's going to take a toll on your body.
And the trauma alone is putting the damage on your mental health. You know, the drugs and alcohol is just added on top of the problem.
Exactly.
You know, if we don't address this trauma, you know, it talks about like, it's funny, my girlfriend, I get worked up easy sometimes, right? My girl's like, you're gonna have a heart attack or something like that because, you know, that can enhance enhances our anxiety or depression. You know, it puts a strain on our mental health and stuff like that. So it's always good to address it instead of, you know, acting out on it and you're just causing more problems and more problems. It's just the insanity of the disease of addiction and the insanity of trauma can really hurt you, you know, if it ain't properly treated.
And it's always good. I learned this. I was raised in the church. My dad's an apostle. So he died. My mom's an apostle. She 86. She's still an apostle.
Wow.
But I was raised in a church that like when you go through this trauma and you get to the point, okay, well, I want to take drugs. There's always somebody in the crowd, in the community where you live who's going to try to offer it to you.
Oh yeah.
They offer it to you for free just to get you started.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people been offered drugs for years. And here comes the devil. That's nothing but the devil, the spirit of the devil. They offer that person, they see they're doing good.
Yep.
They don't want to see them do, they want them down in the dump just like that.
Yeah.
And they offer to you for free.
Misery loves company.
Yes.
You know, it's
But
always like.
You have to be strong and say, no, I'm not going back to that.
Yeah. People, places, and things, especially in recovery,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't associate with a lot of like people I see with. It's like hi and goodbye.
Mhm.
I don't hang out with a lot of people that
Mhm.
I mean, I see people, but I don't hang out with them. I don't hang out the same places.
Right?
I can't. I know myself. That's
Mhm.
another thing about recovery has taught me is finding out who I am,
Mhm.
finding out what's going on, finding out what traumas I have,
Mhm.
and address them in a healthy manner instead of going back and using,
Mhm.
know.
That's the truth, because you can assert, like my brother about Clay, where he lived on Kings Drive, I live on King. And the house that he was living in, people were offering drugs
Mhm.
there in the community.
Yep.
But when he moved and then disassociated with those people, he don't see them, he didn't tell where he lived, he was able to get off.
Yeah,
those
sometimes
drugs.
we need environment change. That's not going to fix you,
Right,
but it helps.
that helps.
Yeah, it helps
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
can see he could go from money to money, money in his pocket, money in his bank.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
pay the food, and his whole lifestyle will change.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But there's always that demon. I tell always that devil, you're somewhere
Always
else.
will knock on you.
Right? And you have to have a willpower to say no.
Got to.
And I did, man.
Need strength and courage.
Yeah.
Strength and courage.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's always good to have support.
Yeah, that's what I was still saying earlier. I would not be here if I was trying to do this alone. I already tried that so many times. It just doesn't work. I need help. I need support. It doesn't even matter if you're in recovery or whatever it is. In life in general, nowadays, you need help. You need support. You need good friends, trustworthy friends and family that are standing by your side. Let me read this last little part here. We can never be completely free of our trauma because trauma lives within us as a part of our life. We can be free from the control trauma has over our lives by choosing to recover. Recovery gives us the power to run on our own lives, not our trauma. That is a freedom we never forget. And it's true that I believe that the trauma doesn't just magically appear, just like anything else. It's always going to be in us, but we can address it in a more loving, caring way today. That's why I express it. I can use my traumas and my lessons that I've been through, share it with others so they can get through the same stuff that I've been through. That's powerful. That's powerful.
That's why I love this program, because it's always somebody that you can send an encouragement word to, and you can tell your story.
Yeah.
And that'll help that person.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I got here.
Mhm.
Somebody came in, I was in a treatment facility, and a person came in and shared their story, and they were from my town, and like I came in recovery, and I seen them. I said, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. My days say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's mind over matter.
It is.
Yeah, it's mind over matter.
That was the end of our meeting. That's our coffee and conversation meeting. The topic was on finding freedom in recovery from trauma. You can seek freedom from trauma. And that's all we have for today. My name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Until next time.